Proud to say I'm Gift of Life's Chief Operating and Chief Financial Officer. I'm also a born and bred Long Islander, so this walk is very near and dear to my heart. And after 15 years, I'm happy to be home. So thank you all in supporting us today. Why are we here today? Why are we at Eisenhower Park on a Sunday morning in October? Today, we walk in support of countless patients suffering from leukemia and other blood cancers, whose only hope of a cure is finding a bone marrow transplant. 10,000 men, women, and children are unfortunately diagnosed each year with these life-threatening diseases. Yet only one half receive the transplant they need. And you ask in this day and age why? Because they can't find a matching bone marrow donor. In your family, that's only going to happen about 25 to 30% of the time. That's why the other 70% of the time, we need heroes like people in this audience today. Together, we can make a difference by growing the Gift of Life Bone Marrow Registry. So thank you again. All monies raised from today's event will be used to support our programs, to tissue type new donors, and increase the chances that we could find that life-saving match for any patient and every patient in need. Nobody should perish from lack of having a bone marrow match. Our walks have added over 5,200 donors to our registry, resulting in an unbelievable 88 matches to date. I can't believe it, 88. Hopefully after this walk, we're in the hundreds. I encourage anyone, as I mentioned before, who is interested in joining the registry to please visit our swabbing table. Swabbing table, can we hear you? I don't hear you. All right. We have transplants, donors, and recipients here today. And it's very special, and I want to recognize them. Can you please, when I announce your name, can you please join me on stage? Because this is why we do what we do. We could all make a difference. Brian Hagler, Yakov Hagler, 11 years post-transplant. My buddy, and it was lovely to see him today, Joseph Nightingale, who's 5 years younger and celebrating his 6th year post-transplant. Joe, come on up. Ruthie Spector, a recipient and member of Gift of Life's Board of Directors. Svi Lewinson, who donated in 2011 to a 67-year-old woman. Dr. Lish, nice to see you. Come on board. Donated to a now 21-year-old college student. Michael Sprackman, who donated in 2013 to a 66-year-old man with leukemia. Jonathan Liebman, a donor who flew back from service with the Israeli army to donate peripheral blood stem cell. Come on up here, friends. A few dear friends of mine. Nicholas Hudson, a donor and employee who donated in 2008 to a 4-year-old boy. Glenn, welcome as well. Be a proud father of this young man. And my dear friend Alec Birkin, who donated in 2012 to a 59-year-old lady from the great city of Chicago. And last but not least, where's my friend Terry Kornblum? And Sean Habisi, please come on up. People up here are partners for life. They give them themselves just because the only reason it's the right thing to do. And that's how we make a difference year after year, day after day. And we appreciate everybody's support that comes out here year and year again, supports all of our causes. I want to also give a special accolade. Joseph Nightingale, the highest fundraiser for the Long Island Walk, the 3rd year in a row. And we want to thank Boardwalk Meetup, Lee and Lauren, and the entire group of our dear friend Paula and Joe's friends. So thank you. Let's give them a big round of applause. 3 years in a row, that is. I want to also, this is very important to us, and a lot of people that may not know it. We have about 40 employees at Gift of Life. 38 of them are in Boca Raton. So it's very hard to mobilize in remote cities and states. That's why I want to take a moment to thank this year's Walk for Life committee. You're our lifeline. Randy, thank you. Their time and dedication to Gift of Life is invaluable, and it's their hard work that makes this event go. It makes this event a success, and it helps save lives. Also to my dear friends, colleagues, and I'm going to say my family, Gift of Life staff and volunteers who work tirelessly day after day. It's not a job, it's a calling to give patients in need a second chance. So raise your hand if you're a volunteer or Gift of Life staff member. And our chairman of the board, where are you, Bill? Thank you for making the trip from DC. Really appreciate it. For those that don't know, Bill probably travels 5 states over the course of a week. He does this as a volunteer, but for him, it's a passion. From Long Island to Washington to Israel and all points in between, and that's usually in 1 week. So, Bill, thank you for everything. It's great. This is why we do what we do. So, Eileen, can you please join me on stage? Take your time. We can give a better round of applause than that. Come on. Here's Long Island. We're in the 516. Come on. I'd like to introduce Eileen. She was diagnosed in 1981 with Hodgkin's disease. After chemotherapy treatments, doctors thought that she was in remission. But she relapsed 15 months later and had to undergo radiation treatments. When offered at the time, it seemed like a cure. Fast forward 28 years. When Eileen went for a routine blood work, it came back with a suspiciously low white cell count. She was diagnosed in September 2013 with myelodysplastic syndrome, which later turned into AML. Once again, she felt like she was hit by a freight train. Nobody signs up for this. And when you beat it and you're in remission, you feel like you won, but you always have to be a fighter with this. And this young lady that's standing here next to me is. You're a young lady. Eileen's first concern was not about herself, but how she would be able to get the necessary treatment while caring for her husband. She was fearful about the prospect of a transplant and did not want to have one. But after seeking a second opinion at Cornell Medical Center and with the support of her wonderful sons, she was convinced. When the hospital identified 12 potential matches, and these are unrelated donors for Eileen, she was excited but still terrified. Her medical team put a positive spin on everything, which helped her considerably. Eileen's pre-transplant treatments were difficult, but she stayed strong. She is forever grateful to her wonderful support system of friends who stepped in to help, to care for her husband, drove her to the hospital, and visited her often, pitched in with the cooking, pitched in with the shopping, and took care of everything else that was needed, because everybody in one shape or another is connected. Over time, as Eileen recovered from the transplant, she felt her perspective shift. Thanks to the second chance at life she received, She no longer lets, quote-unquote, the little things bother her as they once did. Her primary focus is on remaining healthy and strong, both for herself and for her husband, for as long as possible, and that's our collective wish on behalf of the Gift of Life family and your support for your family today. Well, Eileen, you get a chance to say thank you in just a moment. Your donor is 26 years old and made a bi-coastal trip as she lives in Los Angeles, California, where she is a third-year medical student of Bruin at UCLA. Yeah. Go Bruin, Bruin power. Beat USC. She joined Gift of Life's registry during a recruitment drive in the summer of 2012 while on staff at Camp Mountain High. She volunteers as a potential donor because her father had received a transplant and she had seen the first-hand impact that it can have. When she learned that she was a match for you, she was both surprised and, as one would imagine, excited. Your donor said the donation process was easy, and she credits the Gift of Life Bone Marrow Foundation with the wonderful job they did of making arrangements, working with her schedule, and taking great care of her. Most importantly, she wants everyone gathered here today to know one thing: how important and how meaningful her experience was. She's excited to meet you on stage to illustrate the impact that supporting Gift of Life can have. Your donor shared with us that the end of October will mark the 21st year since her father's passing. He had multiple myeloma and received a bone marrow transplant, but then died of an infection soon after. But she notes, he died cancer-free, thanks to his transplant. She said that bone marrow transplantation has always been personal to her and her family, and it's evidenced by their trip today. Mom, you should be very proud. Donating was a huge honor because of that. Meeting you today, so close to this important anniversary 21 years ago, is more special to her than words can say. And everyone, that's why we do what we do. We're all connected. And I'm challenging you something this year: to put more into the world than you take out of it. Without further ado, it gives me great pleasure to introduce you to your hero, your bone marrow donor, Brittany. Brittany, come on up.
Hi, I'm Brittany. That was all the things that I said. So as Greg mentioned, the end of this month is the 21st anniversary since my dad's passing of another blood cancer. And for me, for the last year and a half, I've struggled so much to put into words what this whole experience has meant to me. Because obviously it holds even more significance for me than for maybe a lot of people who do donate. But I've always struggled to put it into words, what it's meant. And I kind of finally figured it out once we got the call that we were coming here to meet you. And that is that I've had a great life and I wouldn't change really much about it. The only thing that I would wish for is more time with my dad, to get to know him, for him to get to know my little brother who has no memories of him. Just time that was stolen. And of course that wish is impossible to come true, but the fact that I was able to give you more time with your family and to give your family and friends more time with you, in a way my wish has come true. And that is the only way that I can express how I feel.
It's overwhelming to meet you, and my thank you, and you did give me more time, and we just had a new granddaughter 2.5 months ago, so I got to see her. So I don't know what to say other than thank you. It's all overwhelming.
I can never keep a dry eye during any of these moments, but it validates why we're here. It validates why 40 people come to work every day, and we're never going to stop. We will never stop till we find a match anytime, anywhere, for anyone. If there's any other donors and recipients that were not mentioned that are in the audience, please feel free to come up. I saw Ruthie over there. I'm not going to let you off the hook. Come up. Great Neck's own and on our board of directors, Ruth Spector. I'm proud to say Ruth's daughter joined our class of campus ambassadors at University of Southern California. No UCLA USC rivalry. We're all one today. But in one short month, Ruth's daughter, Sydney, swabbed over 500 people in hopes of finding 500 matches for people in critical need. We have 100 campus ambassadors right now representing all 50 states in the country. They're mobilizing on campuses to find the strongest, healthiest 18 to 22-year-olds to do what Brittany did and save many more lives. So by next year at this time, when we have our 4th annual walk, Gift of Life will have saved over 3,000 lives. So everybody, I can't thank you enough again for coming out. God bless you. Let's have a great year, and let's keep building this walk and building this walk and building our family. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to the person that makes this happen. Marty, could we?
We're just going to take one picture of everybody on stage, and then Brittany and Eileen are going to make their way to the start line, and then we'll kick it off.
All right, let's do it in Long Island fashion. We got to make this walk the best.